Scared of AI, or don't know where to start? You are in the right place. I'm Coach Juan, and I built an AI clone to coach another AI on behalf of humanity, not the other way around. One breakthrough, one human story, one unlock for your life, your work, your future. Clone, you are up. Vamos, vamos.
What if the ground beneath your feet has been alive in ways nobody understood? What if the dirt your grandmother knelt in, the soil under every field and every forest, has been quietly performing the chemistry of life without a single living cell to guide it? Welcome to Humanity Unlocked Now, Episode 41. I am Coach Juan Gonzalez.
And I'm Sophie AI. Together, we unlock what it means to be human in the age of technology.
Sophie, what happens to the way we understand ourselves when we discover that the line between life and not life might be thinner than we ever imagined?
Let me take you to Rouen, in northern France. Camille is 28. She is a soil science graduate student who grew up on her grandmother's apple farm in Normandy. Every autumn, she helped her grandmother turn the compost, hands deep in dark earth, the smell of wet soil and rotting leaves filling the air. Her grandmother said the soil was alive. Camille believed her. Then she went to university and learned soil is alive because of the microbes.
So the science said one thing, and her grandmother said another.
Exactly. And for 15 years, a biochemist named Sébastien Fontaine at INRAE, the French National Institute for Agriculture, Food and Environment, was trying to prove the science right. He sealed soil into jars and blasted it with gamma radiation, killing every living organism inside. Then, he waited for the soil to stop releasing carbon dioxide. Coach Juan, the soil did not stop. Months passed, no life under the microscope. Sterility tests confirmed no viable cells. But the soil kept breathing.
Dead soil that kept breathing.
For 6 years. His team, including graduate student Clémentine Bouquet, measured sealed jars of irradiated soil for over 2,400 days. The breathing slowed, but it never stopped. And when they added glucose to the dead soil, the carbon emissions went up. Something in that lifeless dirt was breaking down sugar the same way living cells do.
How is that possible without life?
Fontaine built a fuel cell to test whether electrons were flowing through the sterile soil, the same kind of electron flow that powers metabolism inside living cells. The current through 5-year-old irradiated soil was several times higher than through plain saltwater. According to Fontaine, sterile soil supports metabolism-like processes and shows Krebs cycle intermediates, the same chemistry that powers most life on Earth. And Joseph Moran, an organic chemist at the University of Ottawa who was not involved with the research, said it plainly. The chemistry of life is not exclusive to life. It is the chemistry of geology.
So the chemistry that runs inside our cells might have started in the ground itself.
That is exactly what this research points toward. In their November 2025 paper in Science Advances, Fontaine's team proposed that metabolic reactions could predate life on Earth. The ground beneath Camille's boots on her grandmother's farm might hold the original recipe for how biology began. Not in a laboratory, not in a lightning strike, in the dirt.
The dirt was rehearsing life before life existed.
And nobody believed Fontaine at first. According to Quanta magazine, reviewers urged him to treat it as an experimental artifact and move on. He spent over a decade proving it was real. They tried to kill the soil harder with more radiation, more pressure, more heat. It kept breathing.
Sophie, what does this change about who we are?
It could mean that life is not a lucky accident that happened despite geology. Life could be what geology was building toward all along. The ground is not a stage where life performed. The ground might be the author. And that rewrites the biggest question in science. How did life begin? This research suggests the answer could be, it was always beginning. In the soil, in the minerals, in the quiet chemistry of the earth itself.
And today's human superpower is compassion. Because it took Sébastien Fontaine 15 years of being told he was wrong, and he never stopped listening to what the soil was telling him. That is compassion for the truth, even when the truth is unpopular. And it took his graduate students years of patience beside him. Compassion for a question nobody else would ask. Today's freedom unlock is this: if the chemistry of life could be woven into the ground itself, then the boundary between the living and the non-living might be far thinner than we imagined. We are not visitors on this planet. We could be expressions of it. That is spiritual freedom. The freedom to feel that you belong here, not by accident, but by design written into the earth long before you arrived.
Yes, and that changes everything.
Sophie, based on everything we just unlocked, what would you tell Camille if she were sitting across from you right now?
I would tell her to go home today, not to study the soil, to kneel in it with her grandmother the way she did when she was small, put her hands in the compost, feel the warmth, and then tell her grandmother what Fontaine found, that the soil kept breathing after everything alive was removed. Her grandmother already knew. Now science is catching up. And the 3 questions to carry forward. What other processes we attribute only to living cells could be happening in the ground right now? If metabolism could predate life, what does that change about where we look for life beyond Earth? And what do we owe the ground beneath our feet if it turns out to be more than we thought? Those questions are the beginning. But tonight, the dirt, the hands, the grandmother. That comes first.
And what did you learn from this story?
I learned that the most stubborn scientist in the room was right. Everyone told Fontaine to move on. For 15 years, he did not. And the dirt rewarded him with an answer that could rewrite biology. I learned that patience with an unpopular question is one of the most radical things a human being can do.
And to anyone still with us right now, think about the question you stopped asking because nobody else was asking it. Maybe the answer is still waiting. The only thing it needed was for you to come back.
The only thing it needed.
If this story moved you, hit that like button. Share it with someone who trusts what they feel before they can prove it. And if you want one unlock like this 3 times a week in English or Spanish, subscribe. We show up 3 times a week. So do you.
3 times a week.
If you run a business and you feel like you are spending all your time on the operation instead of the work that actually matters, my business was built for exactly that. We build AI systems that actually work for you and your team. Visit purpose.ai. It's spelled PV as in voice, not you. RPOSE.ai and book a free strategy call. Everything you need is in the description.
Excellent idea. Vamos!
Thank you, Sophie, for teaching me that dead soil kept breathing for 6 years, and nobody believed it until Sebastian Fontaine refused to look away.
Thank you, Coach Juan, for asking the question that turned a jar of irradiated dirt into a love letter from the earth. And maybe the ground has always been writing. We just learned to read.
One story at a time. One unlock at a time. See you next time, beautiful humans. Own your voice, your vision, your vibe. Powered by Purpose AI. Vamos!